Hey there. So we're all about tips and tricks and giving ideas about things that we do that might be a little bit of help to you guys as well. And one of the things that we wanted to do is Chelsea has a bike and we like to try and bring it with us in our travels, as many of you do. And we looked at a few different options to be able to bring it in this type of setup that we have with the 499. So Jay considered a few different things and did a bit of research. Now, putting a rack on the back of the 499 wasn't an option. So then he looked at putting a rack on the rear tyre holder. And it wasn't really a good idea. There were some possibilities that he could have potentially done there, but we do a lot of the type of road driving that we do sort of outback. We've got a really corrugated section sometimes, and they don't recommend with the vibrations. It could come loose with your spare wheel and things like that. So it wasn't really an ideal situation for us to put anything back there. Plus we've got the jerry cans for the diesel heater and things like that back there too, so it was a bit squeezy. So then we looked at the front section. Now originally when your 499s come to you, I believe they still do come to you with the big stone guards at the front of the boots area. As you would have seen in previous videos that we have, we've removed that section so we could get to the boot more easily. Now there was a toolbox here as well, and we had everything from the toolbox, like our awning pieces, extra canvases, floor mats, things like that. We had all stored in the toolbox, and we had the generator in the boot. So Jason's done a couple of mods on the front of the van section, and we'll talk about in another short video about what he's done with the generator. But for now, with the bike rack, there were a few options that you could have bought to purposefully go on chassis, but they were extremely expensive for what they were, and it just wasn't something that we were really willing to pay for. So he ended up manufacturing something himself, a bit of a DIY, which has been working an absolute treat. We've gone on heaps of trips now with this setup, and it hasn't budged and it hasn't moved. So I'm really confident to be able to tell you what he's done. And you might think about wanting to do the same thing. So it's obviously suitable for a single bike. I'm not sure if we had a double that he might be able to maneuver it a little bit differently. I don't know. But for now, all intents and purposes, this is to take a single bike. So he's gone to Bunnings, and he's got this section here, this black section, which is called a, oh, I knew I'd forget, JC.
C-channel.
C-channel. Just in your metal section at Bunnings. Now what you find as well with this C-channel, this is exactly as it comes. So it can be a little bit sharp on the edges here. We've never had a problem with bike rubbing on it and causing any issues, or our hands and things like that, but we are aware of it. You could, if you wanted to go that one step further and neaten it up, get a little bit of rubber, glue it along just to make that a little bit more less precarious, if you like, but we've left it exactly as it is, and it's worked beautifully. Now he's used these bolts, Jay, the bolts are,
yeah, U-bolts.
no, sorry.
Oh, tech screws.
Tech screws. So he's used some tech screws, and he's gone straight through to the chassis in here and over on the other side, and then he has also used the U-bolts around the whole piece as well, just to give it that extra stability. And like I said, it's worked an absolute treat. The bike fits in there beautifully. Now Jason likes to use these straps to strap it down. Some people might think, oh, that's a bit complicated, and there might be clever people out there that you could come up with something that you might be able to strap a little bit more easily, but he likes to use these every time because he gets a really nice grip. Likes to over-engineer things, he does, I'm sorry, but at least we make sure that we get everything there in one piece. But it's not that hard just to undo these and take it off when you get to your destination. And the other added benefit that this has had is that with our Stone Stomper, we had the support poles that went through these sections here of the stone stomper to hold it up, and previous to having this section here, we just had the pole that we'd put a bit of dowel through to give it stability. But now this is actually, having this section here has given it something to be able to really give it extra support underneath and just made it really secure. And it's all working, as I said, absolutely beautifully, probably more perfectly than we imagined that it would come out. And all this whole bike rack with the sections and so on, how much do you reckon we probably would have spent, Jay?
I think it was under $50.
Right, there you go. So under $50 when we were looking at other purpose-built bike racks for chassis and things that were in the like $500 mark, which was just insane. And yeah, it works great. So hopefully that might give you a little bit of an idea of what you might be able to do as well. Something that yeah, gives us the ability to take the bike away on a really, really good budget. But yeah, hope it helped.